It's a bit windy today, but it's not actually a big deal. Not stopping me doing anything. You poor souls, it's not even stopping me shooting a video. Haha! Good morning, good evening, whatever it is, wherever you're at YouTube. So, a very nice, albeit breezy day here today in the UK, in Buckinghamshire. We had a storm blow through last night, which we always seem to get a storm that coincides with big storms in the States. So, of course, Florida's just hit a really big hurricane a couple of days ago, and true to form, we get one that follows. So whether we catch the tail end or maybe something that caused that one, but we had a big storm blow through last night, load of fences down, and of course it has stripped the leaves, the autumn leaves off the trees. But of course the autumn colours around here in Buckinghamshire are utterly stunning, and we'll go through a couple of little villages on this route which will really just highlight that. So stick around, you'll see some really nice stuff coming up, even if it's just some nice scenery. But I'm sort of thinking back. A friend of mine mentioned something, a very clever actually guy, very clever guy, and he mentioned something one of his friends had said to him, or one of their sort of family friends had said to him a while ago, and said, oh, you don't see many clever people, intelligent people riding motorcycles. And of course he was sort of a little bit taken aback about that, and when I heard about it I was a little surprised as well. I mean, aside from being horribly stereotypical, you know, it's not strictly accurate. I mean, there are, of course, little pigeonholes if you want to put people into sectors with leisure time, but you don't see many brain surgeons playing ice hockey. You don't see many, you know, many rocket scientists drinking orange juice. Well, maybe you do, but, you know, you can extrapolate all sorts of ridiculous data. But the bit that made me think when they said about it, and aside from the fact that I know of one former barrister who's a motorcycle rider, I know of a doctor who's a motorcycle rider, and also I know of, well, there is an executive and professional motorcycle club, and for that you have to be in some sort of professional occupation, an engineer, an accountant, an architect. I know a lot of engineers that ride bikes, and by no means any of them are silly people. But you have to be, you know, something professional. You can't just say, oh yeah, I just joined this club. And it's a big club. And there's a lot of them. And there's a lot of doctors, and a lot of accountants, and a lot of architects that ride all sorts of different bikes within this club. So it's a little bit strange, but it made me think, what is intelligence? And obviously everyone's heard of IQ, intelligence quotient, but what does it really mean? Now, I've done an IQ test. I have done a couple of them. I got very similar results from each one. It showed particular strengths and it showed particular weaknesses. The result was perfectly decent. It wasn't, you know, massive, but it wasn't poor as well. I'm not going to share the exact result with you, but I think people that know me could probably guess it within a couple of points. But it really makes no difference, because there are plumbers out there who maybe are not particularly academically smart, who earn massive money, live in really nice houses, are great people, really nice people, have got great happiness and everything they want in their life. What would a higher number do for them? Equally, there are extremely clever people out there who get frustrations within their career. They can't progress as much as they like, they don't have, you know, everything they're looking for, they're not living a fulfilled life. So what has their intelligence brought them? And I realised that there is a zone, and I think a lot of people are starting to fall into this zone, where their intelligence doesn't really bring any advantages. And I think it's this sector of people who are just above average intelligence. Doesn't really bring any advantages into their life, but actually a lot of disadvantages. They're good good enough to want to progress, but not really good enough to progress very far. But what they are able to see is the injustice, the deception, all the things that are wrong with the world, and also equally know that there isn't an easy answer to them. I mean, a lot of people will tell you, oh, such and such problem, it's easy, you just do this. If that was the case, it would already be done that way. The world isn't run, contrary to what we like to think, the world isn't run by idiots. They might not be nice people, they might be self-serving people, in fact a lot of them are, but the world's not being run by idiots. So, what's the advantage? Well, I found it hard to really define, because all it seems to do, if you are of moderate to reasonable intelligence, is what I would call Brian Griffin syndrome. Smart enough to be unhappy with the world, not smart enough to be able to change it. Now, that's not a great place to be. So, what's the solution? Should we be dimmer? Well, no, I don't think so. I think we need intelligent people in the world. We need responsible parents. We need people to bring up our next generation. Just make sure that anyone the other side of the bridge knows them there, because that's a problem sometimes. We need people who are capable of rational thought. But I think these TV programs like Loose Women are actually just feeding into this slightly open mouth celeb culture, which I think the, for want of a better term, evil elite have created, because those people at the lower end of the spectrum that have no desire to engage with the world, through their own fault or not, some people are purposely and enjoy being disengaged from the world. They're able to throw them a few celebrity photos, they slap the fins together like trained fish, and they're easy to control. If you can control a lot of people, you control all the people, because that's the way representative democracies work. You don't need to be good, you just need to be able to get people to agree with you. And that's behind the rise of populism in Europe as well. So where am I going with this? Well, it's a bit of an open-ended question. And are the super intelligent in this world actually benefiting from their intelligence? Are they living a great lifestyle? Or is intelligence a completely overrated virtue? Is it actually better to be barely average and live a happy life? I think this is perhaps maybe it is to a degree. The only problem I see is that I'm seeing various things going on in the world, and even with my own life I see things that won't reconcile themselves. I see the damage we're doing to the climate. It is absolutely beyond dispute. And I see also that I'm not living as clean a life as I could, because my hobbies are not environmentally friendly, my lifestyle choices are not as environmentally friendly. So I feel some responsibility. But to do the things that I know I could do creates a life I don't want to live. And does living the life I want to live override the right or the duty to make as small an imprint as possible on the planet? And that's a question I can't answer, but it is something I think about. So then you have other people in the political spectrum at the moment who are fooling huge amounts of people into believing what they're telling them purely for their own financial gain. I'm not going to name countries or names or people, and these people are doing their absolute best to basically just encourage lines of thought that work within their agenda. So these people aren't saying it as it is, they're not telling you the truth, they are just brainwashing you to become a tool in their money making machine. That's all you are to them. There are certain people in the world today running nations who have none of your interests at heart. They'll tell you they do, they really don't. In fact, that's probably true of a lot of nations. But there you go, so a little thought on intelligence, whether or not it's beneficial or not. Everyone's going to have a different answer to him. Some people think, that everyone should aim high and stride as hard as they can. Some people just want to live a happy life and be content. And like I said, I know intelligent people that are incredibly successful. I know intelligent people that are incredibly unhappy. I know less intelligent people that are incredibly successful, and I know less intelligent people that are very unhappy. I would love to see a study and see if the rise of depression and mental health problems increases or decreases with intelligence, or whether it's completely unrelated at all. So, be interested to see that. I think there's still a lot we need to understand in the world as to how we value things. And I think maybe at the moment we are putting intelligence or IQ, be it the need to have a degree for virtually every job out there, or just in general society, replacing it higher up than we should do. And people's individual qualities should be viewed as more important. And there's some great people that maybe don't have a massively high numerical IQ that are so vital and wonderful and incredible for the world and aren't allowed to progress as much as they should do because of something on a piece of paper. Now that's totally wrong. In the meantime, if you like these videos, hit the like and subscribe button. This is as close as I will ever get to a political rant. This channel will remain completely non-political, and any political comments will just be instantly deleted. My channel isn't a democracy. If you post something up that is negative to the well-being of other people watching these videos, it will be gone. I promise you that much. But please do like and subscribe, comment if you've got something good to add, and we'll see you soon.